So I always plan my tech upgrades around my YouTube channel, and in today's episode of Kuda Does Random Tech Bullshit, we'll be doing the biggest upgrade of them all. The heart and soul of this channel, the Pulsar. Although it won't be called the Pulsar anymore, it'll be called the collision of two pulsars, otherwise known as a kilonova. A kilonova is either the collision of two neutron stars or a neutron star and a black hole, with neutron star just being a more general term for pulsar. So as I'm sure you can imagine, when they collide, it's one of the most spectacular events to unfold in this universe. This PC is not that powerful. It's actually quite the overkill name, I know. But sucks. So today we'll be building, benchmarking, and discussing this big bastard, its pros, its cons, and who it's more geared towards. Spoiler alert, shithead content creators like me. So if you do go on to enjoy this video, there's a red launch button down below for the rocket. But aside from that, let's get right into it. So to be a content creator here on the YouTube platform, you'll probably find yourself editing videos. A shit ton. So when it comes to gaming and doing a bit of 1080p editing, 6 cores is a very healthy average. But this CPU doesn't need to be a crazy 6-core CPU. We don't want to spend a shit ton of money, you know? So I ended up going for a second-hand Ryzen 5 1600, which I got for $116 off eBay. That included the original packaging, the cooler, everything except the stickers. And you guys know how I am with my stickers. You can usually find Ryzen 5 1600 CPUs and Ryzen 5 2600 CPUs, which are extremely similar, have very similar specs, very similar price range. These things can be found for $135 to $160, and the Ryzen 5 1600 can be found for $150 new, but Black Friday just blew through the market. The used market is shit. It's fucked. It's done. It's dead. So I would recommend you wait a little bit before buying really anything. And it's kind of weird because I got my PC done just before, and I'm kind of upset because now this video doesn't even make much sense, but just wait. Prices will go back down to those prices again, I promise. Although you can find a Ryzen 5 1600 for about $150 new, I believe off of Newegg? But since it's a Ryzen 5 1600, so first gen Ryzen, we can get away with using way older motherboards. Not insanely old, but older to the point where it still has modern features, it just doesn't cost a shit ton of money. Which is why my 1600 is currently sitting in a B350M Gaming Pro from MSI. Although this will not be in the description in the parts list. Instead, I'll be putting the Gigabyte A320M S2H in the description. Both these motherboards are literally the exact same thing, although the S2H is a bit better when it comes to specs and versatility, like it has 4 DIMM slots for your RAM. Not only that, but the A320M S2H is way more widely available, and it's cheaper. The motherboard I have here supports up to 64GB of 3200 MHz RAM, AMD CPU support from the Athlons all the way up to, on MSI's website it says 2nd gen Ryzen, but everyone else I talk to says that this motherboard can support 3rd gen Ryzen too. No one on the internet can give me a simple goddamn straight answer, and every time I look it up, it's a bunch of, it should be illegal to lie on the internet. That's what I'm saying. We also have 16GB of 3200 MHz RAM, and I decided to go with Corsair Vengeance because basic bitch number 3,000,000,5,000,062. Powering all this is an EVGA 500B, so a 500 watt bronze power supply. 500 watts is a really healthy average in my opinion. Like, I could throw an RTX 2070 in here right now with the same CPU, the RAM, the motherboard, and the power supply, and I'd be perfectly fine. So, you know, if I wanted to switch over and be a green team e-boy, I could. But I'm not going to. For storage, we have a 4TB Seagate Barracuda hard drive, which I will be replacing with a 1TB in the description for the parts list. 4TB, not realistic in my opinion, but for me, probably not even enough. And we also have a 500GB SSD with the Crucial MX500. Lastly, we have our final 2 parts with the case and the graphics card. Now the case, I'm going to have my own video on this thing. It's kind of insane. This is the DIY Rainbow Flash G1. A full ATX, tempered glass, RGB, spacious, high airflow, full metal construction. Granted, it's cheaper metal. It's really light, but it works really well. Last but not least, we have one of the best budget graphics cards under $200 with the RX 580 8GB. And since it's an 8GB card, doing things like editing, no problem at all. 1080p gaming on high settings with decent frame rates, not not ultra. I mean, ultra on some games, but not most. Alternatively, you could replace this graphics card with something a bit cheaper, like a 580 or a 574 gigabyte, or even a 578 gigabyte. You could also replace the CPU with something a bit cheaper, like a Ryzen 3 3100, which has the exact same gaming performance, but has 2 less cores and 4 less threads. So when it comes to more intense games that require better CPUs, and when it comes to streaming and editing, the Ryzen 3 wouldn't perform as well, but in terms of gaming, it will do just fine and be quite a bit cheaper. Altogether, your boy got a absolutely massive fucking deal. I only spent about $512 on this thing. Now again, I'm not a piece of shit. I don't like to clickbait. I mean, it wouldn't really be clickbait. It's more than what I actually paid for. But I titled this $600 because I didn't pay for storage. If you include the 1TB hard drive from Seagate, which is like, what, $35, and then the 500GB SSD that I have, the total comes out to just under $600, but in reality, it'll probably be closer to around $610. And that's actually a hefty chunk of change. So what exactly does $600 get you? Well, first up, we have to build it. And, I think you guys are going to enjoy watching me suffer. It took about an hour and a half to build, and it took about 16 hours total to get the entire thing set up. From setting it up to get it built to actually saying it's done, it took about 16 hours. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the montage of me building this insanely difficult build. Holy shit. It's not even the case, it's just nothing wanted to work. I am not doing my hair, I am not getting dressed, I am not doing shit. I am just gonna build this. This type of glass side panel catches more fingerprints than the fucking FBI on Black Friday, dude. Hey, we got a fuck ton of space. Hey, must be the money. Dick sticks in the motherboard. It's time. Oh, iPhone autofocus. Yeah. Yo, I just plopped my CPU down perfectly. Thermal paste. It looks like Silver Surfer jizzed in a jar and then sent it to me. Hey, must be the money. I gotta listen to that song now. That's not a backplate. That's an I/O shield. Can't fucking fit this thing on this goddamn motherboard. Alright, now that I've successfully got thermal paste all over my fucking hands and my cooler, which now I have to wash off, guess we can put this in the case. Or not, because I probably need to put my damn power supply in first. Oh yeah, we also need to do our badass MSI I/O shield. Look at that shit, motherfucker. I fucking mounted my SSD the wrong way. I am so smart. KK walk hard is not my dick. This cable management's almost done. Like, this shit's not hard. I don't know why people complain. Alright, time to lay it down. Put this motherboard in. Bro, all my homies hate the 24 pin. This is so fucking annoying. Got another fan put in here, janky as shit, so I'm gonna have like 2, maybe 3, I don't know. We're almost done. We're almost done. We just need a few more things before we can post. CPU, GPU, RAM, motherboard, SSD, HDD, fans, case, power supply, everything. One last thing, we just have to test and see if it works. 20 more minutes until I'm on. 20 more minutes until I'm on. Alright, all my fans aside from one are working. AMD Ryzen 5 6-core processor, RAM at 2133 megahertz, 16 gigabytes of RAM. And there she is, boyos. That is the Killanova PC. One of my fans isn't working, though. I'm going to try to figure that out. Did you guys enjoy it? I didn't. So like I said, yes, this did take me forever to get running. But it was well worth it. My games perform much, much better now. And my videos render way faster. But how much faster is it? As always, 3 games. Fortnite, Warzone, BeamNG. My editing software, Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2020, will be rendering some footage in there. Last but not least, we will not be using user benchmark. This man said it was an Intel dick sucker or something like that, so I did some research and it turned out, yeah, it actually is. So, no more user benchmark. I'll find something later. I'll pay for a benchmarking software next time I get paid. Not next time I get paid, next time after that. But we still have our benchmarks with our games, so let's hop right into it, as always, with Fortnite. So Fortnite weirdly runs similar to how it used to on my old rig, just a lot more consistent. The game is really shit with performance right now because the new season just came out. I tried to capture a lot more data for frame rates like 1% lows, maximum frame rate, shit like that, but MSI Afterburner kinda sucks, so I only have the average frame rate, which came out to be 150 FPS, and in-game it flickered from, I'd say, around 160 to about 200, 210, and when you went inside it remained closer to 200 than 180, 190. Trying to cap it doesn't really work all that well. The frame rates consistently go lower and lower when you cap it. It's really, really weird. I don't know, the game fucking sucks so much dick at everything nowadays. So temperatures are gonna be a little bit off. Now, I would say that temperatures are probably going to be a lot cooler now, because when I tested this, I still had these two fans in the front. But here's the thing about these two fans in the front. This one wasn't going as fast as it should have been. So these temperatures are going to be a little bit hotter than they are now, because not only have I cranked up this fan, I've also taken the shroud off of my graphics card. So Fortnite runs closer to like 60 degrees on my graphics card now, but when I recorded this, it was around 70, and my CPU held at an average of 47 degrees Celsius with usage between 60 and 70%. Both these temperatures, even though they're warmer than they usually are for my rig, they're actually not that bad. This case is extremely open with a lot of airflow and spots for 8 different fans, so yeah, future upgrades are... Not even going to say anything, you guys are going to like them though. Lastly, this time around, we used a little bit more RAM from the system, about 5.5 gigabytes compared to, I think it was under 3 with the old system. It's a bit weird, and it's actually kind of consistent throughout the rest of this video. You guys will see. Now, of course, all of this was done on competitive settings with DirectX 11, so people who run on weird, crazy graphics that are all different types of shit, no, just run it all low, view distance high. It's the best way to keep your frame rate as high as it will go. Wait, so did I not benchmark Warzone? I benchmarked Warzone. I remember playing the game. Okay, so it turns out I remember playing Warzone and benchmarking it, getting all the data for it. I got mad at the game, rage quit, got off, and didn't write my shit down. So I guess Warzone's out of the picture this time. I'm not re-recording this fucking video. I hate that game so much. Being 100% honest with you guys, I was like, you know what? I don't even want to benchmark this game for my YouTube channel anymore. And I had that thought, but I didn't think I was going to forget to write this shit down. I wanted to do this one last, you know what? I remember running around inside. It was holding around 95 FPS. I had it on all low settings still. It wasn't drastically different from my old rig. This old video... go look at that video. It's pretty much the same shit, just a little bit better. Not much though. So I suppose we'll move on to our last game before going to Adobe Premiere Pro. Our last game is Fatal Car Accident Simulator, otherwise known as BeamNG. Now BeamNG is kind of a complicated game to run, but on this run, instead of running it on lower or normal settings, I'm running them on all high with shadows on. Driving around the city, I got an average FPS of about 57, which would have been higher if I was somewhere that was less populated with buildings. That's just how that game works. Temperatures and usage this time really show, with my GPU staying around 70 degrees with an average of 69 degrees Celsius, but my CPU was significantly cooler at 39 degrees Celsius. As opposed to Fortnite. Same thing with usage. It only stayed between 20 and 30% usage throughout the entire recording. Fortnite, instead of being like a gas guzzler, it's like a Zen 2 guzzler, if you know what I mean. I fucking hate myself. This game, similar to Fortnite, used around 5 gigabytes of RAM from the system, 5.1 gigabytes to be exact, and I remember Warzone, I didn't even want to say it, but it was using about 10.5, closer to like 10.7, 10.8 gigabytes of system memory. When I was playing, I'll probably keep BeamNG in, but I want to use a more widespread or a more widely known car game for people. So if you guys want me to cover like Forza or something, please let me know. BeamNG is just a lot easier. It's a lot more fun too, if you guys didn't know, just saying. Lastly, we have Adobe Premiere Pro with a very, very simple render test. It's actually the footage from my most viewed video, which just hit 50K the other day. Thank you guys so fucking much. But that footage is running at 1440p 30 FPS, and just like with the Pulsar, I rendered 10 minutes of it, and instead of taking 14.5 minutes, it took just over 8.5. So we're looking at almost a 50% reduction, 40% reduction in render times. I think it's pretty dope. Now, yes, I did buy a few used parts with this rig. Yes, the case feels extremely cheap when nothing's in it, and you can very easily pick it up with one hand. Yes, the Ryzen 5 1600 is not the best Ryzen 5 CPU, but for the money that I spent, I don't really think I could do much better. And when it comes to you content creators out there who like to make videos and stream, the 6 cores the CPU provides will be able to ensure all your games run smoothly, and even if you're streaming, you can stream while still having smooth gameplay. Editing videos should not be difficult in the slightest. Rendering them will not take all that long. I mean, that doesn't really have anything to do with the CPU, but still. The graphics card provides you with enough power to do pretty much anything at varying amounts of quality. 1440p gaming's probably not something you want to do on this card, but I suppose you could do it if you really wanted to. Seeing what I've done with it and the things that it's capable of, you could do a lot with it. Anything you want to do as a gamer boy, it's got you covered. Now, I'm probably going to title this the best $600 gaming PC, but there's probably some other things you can do differently. Like I said, the motherboard, maybe the storage if you wanted to, maybe the power supply if you wanted to. But altogether, this is a great system, and I could highly recommend the case, I could highly recommend the CPU, the 580. Everything here is fucking amazing. I'm going to have a separate video out sometime in January about my RX 580, and I'm going to have a separate video out in January about the PC case, although that might be pushed back to, I don't even fucking know when. This build might not look like nothing special, but it's sitting in a case that's $40, and I am 110% certain this is the exact build I will be building my 50,000 subscribers on. So, if you went on to enjoy this video, perhaps you should consider becoming an OG by hitting that launch button down below, like I said earlier. If you guys have any questions about the build, please be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. I'll be sure to get back to everybody. At least I'll try. I can't get to everybody because it's kind of impossible, but I'm going to do my best. I'll probably be streaming some more with this thing now that I actually have a rig that's more capable of streaming and gaming at the same time. So I'd also like some suggestions from you guys down below. Probably going to do Minecraft soon. That's going to be fun. Before we go, though, I need to shout out the people that help make this happen, our members. Starting off with the console tier, I'd love to give a huge shout out to JG, Waterless, Heberbrine3, God, Exo Casper, and Ninzaki. Lastly, I'd love to give a huge shout out to our PC Master Race tier with Noah Jacques and Nick Garcia. If you'd like to help out the channel, you can support me down below by hitting the join button. There's like perks and shit. You guys get like shout outs and videos and early access to videos and shit. So if you enjoy the content, consider joining down below. Anyways, I love you guys. I have a lot of RTX Minecraft to play. Yes, I figured out some shaders that looked just like RTX Minecraft. About to go play them. Probably making a video on those sometime too. I don't know, I'll keep you guys posted. I love you all so much, and I hope to see you in my next PC build. Peace.